This is Comic World for you. You know what it is. It's episode 17. So we're going to talk about the comics that came out on January 30th, 2019. All right. So we got a lot of comics to talk about today. Sorry about that. So let me just jump right into it. But before that, if this is your first show, this is our weekly show where we like to talk about all the comics that we liked that came out this week. So we get pretty excited about it. So we just want to talk about some of the good stuff with you. So if you guys want to like, subscribe, and follow for some of our original content, please feel free. You can catch us on S Squad Up on Twitch or here on YouTube at Long Story Short Show. So, yeah. Chris, you want to go first?
For sure. All right.
Yeah, cool. Let's get to the live screen. All right. So, what's up, everybody? This is Comic World for you. You know what it is. It's episode 17. So we're going to talk about the comics that came out on January 30th, 2019. All right. So we got a lot of comics to talk about today. Sorry about that. So let me just jump right into it. But before that, if this is your first show, this is our weekly show where we like to talk about all the comics that we liked that came out this week. So we get pretty excited about it. So we just want to talk about some of the good stuff with you. So if you guys want to like, subscribe, and follow for some of our original content, please feel free. You can catch us on S Squad Up on Twitch or here on YouTube at Long Story Short Show. So, yeah. Chris, you want to go first?
For sure. All right. I had Justice League Odyssey. I forget the issue number, the writer and the illustrator, but whatever. It starts off with, the Justice League. They're off world, and it's not the Justice League that people typically think of when you say the name. It's more of like their Gamma Squad, like the third stringers and shit. So you got Cyborg, who's
Number
like
5.
maybe, yeah, good luck. You got Cyborg, you got Jessica Cruz, you got Starfire, you have Azrael, and then you have another Azrael, but it's Rapture. That's his name and what it goes by. Biggest thing that's going on in here is you got two people who are being worshipped on the Justice League or on this squad, so to speak. Azrael has his own cult amongst the stars and shit that dress like him and call him Lord and God and shit. Cyborg also has like a group of followers and everything that he calls his followers, and they believe in him for being like this embodiment of technology who's reached the apex of ascension and shit. So they're essentially trying to create a mother box to emulate him, to bring about order amongst all this chaos in this ghost realm or this ghost galaxy or whatever it's called. So as that shit is going on, Cyborg is really kind of coming to terms with whether he wants to help these people or not, because he's like, I know what I am. It's difficult for me to actually find my humanity, keep it and everything. So he's fighting back and forth. Meanwhile, those other leaguers are outside fighting this continuous armada of robots that just keep coming and shit. Darkseid is the one that's pretty much behind everything. Granted, I haven't read the other issues prior, but essentially Darkseid is like setting things into the motion so that he can take over everything. And in order to do this, he had to strike up a deal with Starfire's sister, Blackfire. So he's on Tamaran. He goes into this like ancient, like sacred space, goes and submerges himself in this liquid water type of thing. I don't know what the fuck the liquid is, but he's down there for a very long time. And then he merges with an other box, not a mother box. He has an other box, and this shit is what's going to allow him to wreak havoc and take control over everything in the known realm. So there's a lot of shit going on in here. Everybody's dealing with like this whole god complex because it's spread amongst 3 people. The Rapture disowns Azrael because he feels Azrael is not who we thought he was. So now they have the whole cult going against Azrael. Cyborg turns his back on those people who wanted to serve him and bring them up into ascension because he's like, no, fuck this shit. I got to go start Darkseid. And Darkseid is like one step closer to ruling and having complete dominion over everything. There's a lot of shit going on. Oh, even Jessica Cruz, she can use her ring now. So she's making constructs. So there's a lot going on. But
Whoa.
All right,
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jessica Cruz, and yeah, I saw Darkseid was in it, and he like looks a little different than he used to. Because,
Yeah, I like his new costume.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool, and I do like Cyborg and Azrael and stuff. So I do like the B team of Justice League. Hey, do you have a light to like the left or right of you off, or is the light above you off?
Well, the light above me is on. That one's on. That one's off.
Yeah, like half your face is like in a shadow on the video.
Yeah, I was going for Mystique. You want me to turn it on?
Yeah, it might mess with the editing.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
All right, yeah, that's better.
All right.
Cool. So we got a.
So don't jump in here.
Nope.
Damn. Yeah,
No,
that's kinda how I
don't
felt
jump
about the
here.
Justice League one I had this week, but it's like I don't know. It seems like that's getting to like that's like the penultimate issue. Like it looks like a 6-issue story, and he's on like 5. But yeah, it sounds like it's right where the action is, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like cut right into the middle of the battle. There's not really much exposition. It's just more so like a lot of fighting, and you kind of have to pick up.
Okay.
So
as long as you know who the characters are,
Pretty much,
right.
Yeah.
So just to, like space it out a little bit, going from like we'll just go in like the line that we're in now. I'll do Man Without Fear number 5. So this is the last issue of Man Without Fear, and so this whole little mini series, I thought that Daredevil was actually going to quit being Daredevil and stop being Daredevil. But he pretty much keeps repeating to himself, what is fear for? It's for making you stronger. It's for pushing you along. And he has a whole, like, it's pretty cool. He has a whole, like, flashback about his dad giving him a speech, like, basically saying, like, I can't give you anything. I'm an idiot. Like, I take hits for a living, and smart people don't take hits for a living. But I can't give you, like, this one piece of advice. You're smart, and so you can probably do more with it with me, or than I could with this advice, but you just got to keep going. You can't be afraid of getting hurt. You can't be afraid of, like, the pain, because, like, the pain motivates you. Like, the pain, like, when people get hurt, they usually react to it. Like, they do something about it. They either stop the pain or, like, there's action. But most people, the time they're inactive is when they're afraid of the pain. So he's like, don't be afraid of like any kind of pain or anything like that. Like embrace it. So it's like when he's like he's in real rehabilitation. So it's like he's trying to walk on like those 2 lines to get his legs back together, kind of thing like that, to strengthen his legs. And so it's like every step is painful. So people stop because of the pain. But he just keeps going. And it's basically like an inner monologue in the story the whole way through from his dad. And it kind of gets him to where he needs to be, where he's just like, you know what? Yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. And what was I gonna say? He gets up, he works, he's punching bags, he's doing what he needs to do. And Foggy comes around because he's like, I need to get Matt out of bed because he hasn't seen him in some time. And he gets to like the room, and Matt is just gone. The window's open, the curtains are blowing, and Matt's gone.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. Other than that, I'm not really too sure what specifically could have been different about this one. I did like it. It was my favorite issue so far. I do think it helps stick the landing a lot better than, you know, some of the other issues did. Some of them dragged in this series, but I think altogether, 1 through 5, if you read it, perfect story. Conquered his fears. He did. Nice. He accepted his fears. He's like, there's no getting rid of you. So why am I going to try to fight you this whole time? Like, you're here. Why not use you as motivation? So that's a good story for anybody. So Man Without Fear number 5.
And he's like talking to like fear itself.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And so
cool.
He's not the man without fear anymore. He's not like guarding himself from the fear or anything. He's like, I'm just here. Let me turn.
A man who embraces fear. I'm a courageous man.
Yeah, now I'm just like a courageous person, and you know, I use it for the right reasons. I don't harness it for the wrong reasons anymore. Basically, is what it was, because that's what he was doing for a little while. He was just, you know, beating up people, scaring them. So he's back to basics. My bad. I had to change the audio mid like sentence and everything. I noticed I didn't have the right microphone up, and then I lowered it, so might have a little audio issues right there. So, sorry about that, y'all. But next we got what do you got?
Oh, West Coast Avengers number 7. So let me just catch you guys up real quick. The team went to a dead carnival, got caught by Madame Mask. So everyone but Kate is basically captured, and they're basically like having like a competition between one another. It's like MODOK, the Eel, Madame Mask, Lady Bullseye's there for some reason, Santana. So they're all kind of taking turns. They're like, you get points for hurting him. You lose points if you kill him. So that's going on. And then also, Kate thinks that her mom might still be alive because she's supposedly supposed to be dead. And then also, she got kicked in the face by her ex boyfriend.
Yeah.
So now we are here. She wakes up. She wakes up. She's like, so basically, she understands why she gets kicked in the face. And then she's basically like, fuck you. You didn't have to do all that. Basically, this is Marvel Boy, aka Novar. And basically, he just has like quicker reflexes and
Novar.
stuff like that. Yeah, so basically, he's kind of a hero, but he just showed up. And then, also, it's her ex boyfriend. And it's just like, oh, nice. That's cool. So she goes to Novar to save the team. She does this cool sonic arrows. So basically, MODOK had this like sonic wave that was basically a power dampener. And that's how he got the rest of the team captured.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, smart. So smart.
A power dampener.
The land sharks, too. So it's like, of course.
Oh, yeah, I remember the land sharks.
Yeah, you remember those?
The bipedals.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so the bad guys escape. There's like these cool fighting things, and then the bad guys escape. And then later, Gwenpool's like, hey, I found this baby land shark. Can I keep it? His name's Jeff. They're like,
Jeff.
no. She's like, come on, please. I'll feed it. I'll take care of it. And I'll watch it like a hawk. No pun intended. They're like, oh, fine, keep it. And then Kate's like, oh, man, this is what I get for making her give back that cat she found the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I bet you wish you would have kept the cat now.
But now they got a land shark.
Yeah.
So it's like, of course. So basically, it just wraps up with the bad guys having like a meeting, and they're basically going to be called the West Coast Masters of Evil.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right?
That's a mouthful. West Coast Masters of Evil.
We got a guy that can blow up stuff. We got a girl that can grow. We got this guy.
Dub C, Mo.
And we don't got a name guy, though. Once we get those.
And so they're basically just having a meeting, and that the head of the table is Derek Bishop, a.k.a. Kate Bishop's dad. So it's like, wait, so is my mom alive? And she doesn't know, but, like, what's going on? Like, is her dad, like, trying to get rid of the team so she can just go be a regular student or something? That's my guess. But I don't know. Oh, and also, they're supposed to be filming a reality TV show, but the film crew didn't get captured with everybody else.
Yeah, so...
Convenient. So, let's find out what happens. I don't know what's going on, but we'll see. Next time.
It's all about ratings. They're getting...
West Coast doesn't have a lot of big problems. Like, they got the
it's weird.
Over here, they got Venom.
You think they wouldn't be doing this shit but after what happened to like Speedball and all them? The last time they did like the whole reality TV.
Yeah, I bet you people are gonna get fucked up. Or someone should have said something about that. But all right, what'd you think of West Coast Avengers number? What was that 7?
I like it. It's like picking up speed. It's kind of going a little slow. It's kind of like more showing how the team members work with each other. Or how they don't work with each other is more
nice.
What I should say. And
nice.
Then of course, like, it's a team book, so of course there's like gonna be a lot of like melodrama and like America is a lesbian and she's dating Fuse's sister.
Of course, so of course.
Like
Melodrama.
Yeah, melodrama.
No, melancholy, like melancholy drama, like just a sadness. Yeah, I got it. I got it. I know what you meant.
Put that in Webster.
I said it because someone's gonna comment. That's what they're gonna say.
Hey, melon drama, like it was like
nice.
Watermelons. How you spell that? Anyway.
Melon drama. Anyways, yeah, pick it up. It's going a little slow, so actually this is like the perfect book to like pick up.
Cool.
Number 7, nice.
What
Nice
do you have
little
next,
get
Chris?
ready for the bigger art kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I also had a number 7. I forget what's. Yeah, Punisher was number 7, and I believe the writer was Rosenberg, and then we got the artist, which is Kondransky, I believe, and then a colorist by Fabella. I like what they're doing with this run and shit. Um, yeah, it opens up with Punisher being set up. Like there's these people talking about whatever, just bad people in a car, and they're talking about the next move they're about to make. Frank walks up to the car, knocks on it. They think he's a bum, so he smashes the window, lights this beer bottle with a rag in it on fire, and throws it in the car. And the car blows up, and he's like, "Okay, everybody, make it look good, but not too rough, you know." But the people fuck him up a lot. Then you transition to the real Frank Castle, who's still in jail and shit, still got the scar, still yoked as fuck, long ass like fucking hair and shit. It's just wild. So while he's in there, he's like in a shower or some shit, and this blindish nun walks up to him and starts like telling him that he needs to change his ways while he's still showering and shit. And he was like, "Hey, you want to get me a towel or something?" She's like, "Calm yourself, Francis. I've seen an average size penis before." I was like, "Damn." So, so she gives him, right, right.
I was picturing like Eric Matthews when he comes after that time jump.
Jeez,
What'd you say, Francis? I thought of Malcolm in the Middle. Like, what's Francis doing there?
Yeah. So she gives him her whole backstory and was like, "You don't remember me, do you? Like I'm a blind nun because of you, because violence begets violence, because you're unfocused, you just do shit just for the shit of it." Yeah. It goes to a flashback where it was like, I think it was like an earlier, like one of the first 30 or 40 issues of Punisher, where he goes into Venezuela. She's there on a missionary type of deal. He wreaks havoc and ends up saving them all from what happened, but ends up scarring them all and like causing some shit. Essentially opens the door for the devil because of all this violence. She's finished getting the whole backstory about what's happened. So he like leaves her. It's like, if we're done here, I'm still gonna go do what I'm gonna do. So bye. Goes back to solitary. The guards attack him while he's in solitary because he's been killing guards and fucking them up because they've been trying him and doing fuck shit. So Taskmaster ends up saving him, and Taskmaster's like, "Look, we're almost to the end, bruh." So he's like, "Look, we're almost to the end of all this shit, and I would have let them do more damage to you because like you stabbed me when we were stateside in the foot and fucked me up. But Zemo says that we're almost at the end, so we need you alive. So that's why I kill these people, and I'm gonna put you back in General Pop." He goes back to General Pop, and all the guards have been taking it out on all the other prisoners and inmates, including like the nun and shit, because they can't kill him, so they'll fuck other people up. And they bring this ultimatum up to Frank, and they're like, "Look, we can either jump this woman in front of you and beat her to shit, or you could take the beating for her." And he's like, "Fine." So then they beat his ass. He ends up having to shave all his hair and all that stuff because he has to go to surgery and everything because he's having brain like hemorrhages and like there's a lot of pressure and all that shit. And the nun is there and is like, "Okay, see how your shit, see what happens? You see what happens when you go on your tear? See how we all got fucked up? See how you were all on focus and now you're here? Are you ready to play by my rules, Francis?" He's like, "Yes." And that's the end of the book. So I'm like, okay, cool. All right. She wants him to call her like Sister Mercy. And he's like, "I'm not calling you that." So whatever. So that's the end of the book. I like the whole run and everything. I like how it's like giving him more of a place to grow, that he's not just a blunt instrument, because I never really thought of him that way. I just thought of him more methodical and just does what needs to be done. But it seems like he's getting smarter about how he goes about it. So I like it.
Nice. All right. So I guess mine's next. I had Spider-Man, I had Captain America, and I had Justice League Annual #2. So I'm going to do Amazing Spider-Man #14 by Nick Spencer. And the art is like Steve Boccolo. They always bring this dude back. He used to do a run for Doctor Strange back when magic was being destroyed. Like there was like these creatures eating magic. Steve Boccolo always does art for Spider-Man. I noticed when they're bringing in the Lizard. So
Nice.
I don't know if this is just like a weird like couple issues or something, but I don't know. So
It's a good art. It's good art though.
it's cool. Rhino shows up. Rhino shows up, and he just showed up in the other Spider-Man book with Miles, so it's kind of cool to see him show up with Peter here. And then they instantly team up. Like, all right, come on.
Of course.
Yeah. I thought it was gonna be the opposite, but basically what the story is Aunt May, who just got the news in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man #1 that came out that she has cancer. She's having a meeting with her ex-husband's lawyer, her deceased ex-husband's lawyer. Guy's basically saying like, "Hey, you're broke." She's like, "All right, well, ain't the worst news I got." And so the lawyer tries to hit on her. She says, "Fuck you," leaves, and then she sees a bum outside. So the bum's getting picked on by some guys. She goes and stops them by using like a hologram that Peter was able to like produce for her to like, you know, fight off, you know, muggers and stuff like that. And then she invites the bum inside and puts it on the lawyer's tab. I was like, good for you, Aunt May. That's what you do. While that happens, Rhino runs straight up through the restaurant. Spider-Man shows up, and he's like, what happened? What's going on? And Black Ant and Taskmaster are there. They're trying to catch the Rhino. Rhino's been like, hey, these motherfuckers been chasing me for 3 days. Like, come on, man. Like, this shit's got to stop. Spider-Man's like, all right, that checks out. They have been capturing bad guys. All right, let's take them out. They do that. That's cool. The Lizard, his wife and son came back to life in the clone conspiracy, and they're going to melt with the rest of the clones, but he injected them with some lizard DNA. So, I mean, that's what
I was trying to save my family.
Yep. I just thought about this. I'll put the comic cover where Chris is, and then I'll put the panel where we are. But yeah, so he is with his family, and he's having like a dinner date with his wife, his kid, and then Mary Jane and Peter, trying to make it all normal since he's like working at the Empire State University again. His kid wants to go to school, but like Kurt's like, no, you can't do that. It gets to like the point where they're at dinner. The kid's like, you just don't want me to turn into a monster like you. And then it gets all quiet and awkward and shit. And you're like, damn, man, what's going on, Kurt? Like, what's going on? You're living in the sewers. Like, what's going on?
Why don't you love me, Dad?
Pretty goddamn much. So we find out some other stuff. I'm jumping around a lot. We find out the person who sold the big man the death trap from the last arc, like the death trap that they put Jonah in, was Arcade. And Arcade can't pay up to whoever, you know, he owes money to because people ain't buying death traps anymore. People just, you know, they bust in the building, they want to fight their enemies. They don't, like, people don't savor the kill no more. So, you know, it's a buyer's market for death trap buyers. So, you know.
That is actually hilarious.
It is hilarious. Yeah. Well, you know,
that is hilarious.
It's
like, there's not a niche for this no more.
It's like, what happened? Are you suddenly trying to hunt down people with bow ties? Because if it is, you should know. This is a clip-on. So, I like Arcade. He's cool. Craven shows up, and he wants Arcade to help him with something. So Craven's about to show up. I mean, they've been trying to get a movie out for Craven. It looks like it's
that's fucking
so
funny.
Craven's gonna show up. So that's cool. It's a bunch of random shit that's happening, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty entertaining. Nick Spencer knocking it out of the park. Love this guy. Fucking funny guy. Funny guy. All right. Spider-Man 14. Right? I mean, that says it all. I mean, it's just like a bunch of
like no, it's like when you can create somebody like a Arcade, have him be like a salesman, but that has like,
you know,
enthusiasm and shit.
Arcade's in Bagalia, that place where Punisher and like fucking Soldier and everybody are always hanging out in like that place.
Nice.
That third world place where a bunch of shit.
Because that's where everybody is right now.
Bagalia.
In that Punisher book.
Yep. Nice. Yeah, I saw that on the cover. I was like, Bagalia, where does that sound familiar? Matthew Rosenberg always writes about Bagalia. But before talk about that forever.
Yeah.
What was the next one you had?
Okay, I'll do Miss Marvel number 37 by G. Willow Wilson. Oh, my girl, always doing this right. So Kamala and her brother Gabe are babysitting their nephew, and of course they're freaking out. These kids have never babysat a baby before. No one gave them instructions. It was just like, here, bye.
You have a clean slate. Like, like, okay, that's irreparable damage. Whatever. Try the next thing. Right. You'll be
Yeah,
fine. You'll
exactly.
be okay.
And so they're freaking out, and so they're like, "Crap, where do we go to like get answers to like, help us with this baby because the baby's crying?" They're like, "We go to the Circle Q." So they go to the Circle Q, and of course, Bruno's back. So what does he do when he's not studying? Oh yeah, he's working back at the Circle Q. So he's
This nigga went to Wakanda and back, and then went back to the mini mart. This
Yeah,
motherfucker
that's what I was
got
about to say. That's a
resumes
gas
all
station, a
over
mini
the place.
mart. What is that?
They're
well,
still
he
in
got a lab, so it's just like when I'm not at the lab, what am I gonna do?
Oh, okay. Never mind. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
He's got like side projects and shit. It's not like
exactly.
he's got shit going on.
Like he's just working at the Circle Q as like a break.
I'm just saying, you went to Wakanda. Chris, can you scoot to the right a little bit? You went to Wakanda.
Oh, I got you.
Like, back, like, you know.
Yeah, he could have been doing more with his life, but this is what he wants to do.
True.
So he's working there, and then Sheikh Abdullah is there, and he's like the.
I bet you they didn't even hire anybody. Like, I bet you they didn't even hire anybody. He just came back. They're like, yeah, I guess you.
They're like, yeah, you can have your job back.
Yeah, man. Who else is gonna do it? No one else is qualified, I guess.
Yeah. My bad.
Yeah. So Sheikh Abdullah, he's there. He's just buying some things. And so, but he, of course, gives them all the answers they need to take care of the baby. He's
Sheikh Abdullah?
Yeah, Sheikh Abdullah. And Sheikh is just a leader from like the 16th century in the Ottoman Empire area. So he tells them how to take care of the baby. He's like, feed it, burp it, make sure, the diaper's clean, and you'll be fine. And so he leaves. And so...
That's what we said.
Easy things, like, of course. But so he leaves, and they're like, oh, maybe today will be fine. Maybe life is beautiful. Bang! Boom, outside. And so Miss Marvel comes, and she jumps in, and there's water everywhere. And she's like, where's the bad guy? And the police officer's like, there is no bad guy. It's just
way to go, Carol.
He's like, there's no bad guy. It's just a bad infrastructure. They told us they would fix the pipes, but that where's that money? Haha. So she's like, okay, so what do you want me to do? He's like, well, make sure the water goes away so it doesn't get worse.
Got any money?
I know you don't have money. So
I'm just playing.
Could you get some?
I work at the Comedy Bucket on weekends. Save me some time. Like, what?
And so, I'm cute. While Miss Marvel's doing that, Bruno and Gabe, still have the baby. And then, so they make a boat real quick, because Bruno's a genius. And so, they're on the boat, and then a wave comes, because, the water's just moving. And the baby flies in the air and lands in this boat of where... her friend is, I don't know, the blonde-haired girl. And so Kamala's like, hey, save the baby. They're like, okay. So they give it to this old man that everyone knows. And he's on his like little scooter. And he's like, okay. So he's riding off on his little scooter. He's like, don't worry, I was in the Navy, so I know how to work troubled waters. He's like, this is like when we escape the Nazis. He's like, so he gets the baby to safety. To Nakia, Kamala's best friend.
You're not old enough to be fighting Nazis.
Yeah, that's what I was like. How old is this decrepit man?
Driving this boat, you're not old enough.
No, he's on his scooter.
Nazis. Oh, he's on a scooter?
He's on his little scooter.
Oh,
his Vespa.
No, he is on a scooter.
Okay, that makes more sense. Like,
he has a baby in one hand and controlling the scooter in the other hand.
Oh, that's dangerous as fuck.
Just like the Punisher show. You're a liar. you weren't even at the war.
Wow.
So he leaves after he saves the baby, and then Kamala opens the sewers so that the water just goes to the sewers. Everything's dry. Everything's all good. Then they're like, no, Sheikh Abdullah had a heart attack. You gotta get to the hospital now. She's like, oh no. And they're like, wait, Kamala, are you gonna change out of your costume? But she's already gone with the baby. She already dipped. And so she changes, I guess, on the way. And she gets to the hospital, and he's like, fine. And then Sheikh Abdullah, he's like, Kamala, I just want to let you know that Amir is going to take over for me at the church. She's like, wait, Amir? my brother, an imam. So basically, he's been unemployed this whole time, and he's just been doing his studies, and he's just like been leaving it up to God that he's gonna find a job when
Check out
God
this
is
guy's
ready,
story.
right?
Check out this guy's story.
So basically, what happened? This guy, he was going to college, and he's like, it wasn't for me. So he just drops out, moves back home, and he's like, I'm just gonna study my religious texts, and when God provides me a job, he will provide me a job. Well, actually, it brought him a wife and then a baby, and now he has a job. So, yeah.
This motherfucker was jobless, living with his parents, drop out, and then he got married, and then he got a baby. This dude was like, shit, well, why I gotta get a job? I already got you. Yeah, damn.
And so they're
Solid.
like,
hey, and she ain't even Muslim.
yeah, his wife. She's hot.
I want to comment about that.
This nigga spit biblical game. This nigga spit scriptures.
That's all he did too. And he was like, they were like, "What do you do?" And he would just spit out scriptures to people.
Damn, this nigga powerful.
You're gonna be a villain. All right, what happened?
And so it basically ends up with like everything works out how it should be. Life is not so strict. You can bend it, and it zooms in on the baby, and the baby has purple eyes. So is that the right baby, or did the baby is just an inhuman like her? So I'm going for the first one because the first one would be more interesting.
An alien baby or something, a demon baby?
Like it got switched. Like the baby that fell from the sky wasn't her nephew. And really her nephew is like somewhere else. Like probably with the aliens.
Man. I wonder if this is supposed to be her last issue, and then that's just like a cliffhanger for her like series drop. Like, all right.
It's definitely a cliffhanger because you know how usually at the end of comics it says like the end or like to be continued? This says not the end.
They make a point.
This is her last issue. This is really her last issue. Solid Enemy is going to be picking it up, and then I guess they got a plan for that.
I guess.
I mean, she's got Wonder Woman to write right now, so bye G. Willow Wilson. It was cool knowing you.
Definitely was because,
Barry,
brought her brother Amir full circle. Like, he's been unemployed since issue number 1.
In 2012.
Jesus.
Yeah, and in that time, yeah, this dude's story is biblical. All right, so, Chris, you had the next one.
All right, cool. Doctor Strange 400 by Wade and illustrated by Sayez. I don't know. Anyway, so it opens up with the Ancient One who was evolved into a state of being that thrives and exists in the astral realm. So he's still alive, just there. What ends up happening is he is attacked and pulled from that back into our realm, like Earth, in that reality, and he feels extremely weakened, and he's like, why do I feel so weak? Why am I like this? And his assailant is like, because you're centuries years old. Duh. Like, hell. And he says, now let me introduce you to my friend. And then this grotesque kind of creature kind of comes out of this portal, and he has these utensils that allow him to extract anything from anyone magically. So the creature goes to the back of the Ancient One's like head, like goes to the medulla and extracts this magical kind of like organ, it seems, puts it in a jar, and the Ancient One forgets all magic, doesn't know how to do anything like that.
So Eddie doesn't know how to do magic?
Doesn't know how to do magic, doesn't know anything because the dude stole his magical knowledge. That's what that organ was. So what ends up happening is he goes back to Stephen Strange and is like, the student must now become the teacher because he has to give this guy everything, like lifelong lessons of magic in a few like days. Like I said, a day to a week, because Stephen Strange is doing everything he can to prevent him from dying on the spot. But unless the Ancient One can learn how to do it on his own, it's like a moot effort. So he's trying to like teach him everything, and he realized, damn, I really don't have the patience like he did with me. And I'm really seeing the parallels of what was. So as this is being done, He allows him to get some rest. So he taps into the Ancient One's essence and tries to see if there's anything like a remnant of his assailant so he can follow it. He does, and opens up a portal to this huge bureaucratic room and shit filled with like grotesque creatures, not like the one that helped the assailant in the beginning, but they're just more grotesque creatures. And they are pretty much the checks and balances of all magic. And then you have the head accountant, which is this black dude, which was hella cool. And that was the dude who attacked the Ancient One. Like the head accountant like came in and everything. It was like, look, there's checks and balances on all this shit. I'm the dude who makes sure that all the books are clean, all the things are balanced, it's all good. Because exactly. And he says like Stephen Strange like attacks him and all that. Stephen Strange is getting ready to attack him and all that shit. And he's like, look, man, you are the worst offender of magic of all. Like you think you're not? We took your powers away, and then you went and relearned everything and took on energies and took on like heralds or whatever that you don't even know of, trying to get all your shit back. You are the worst offender, because for every time, what's the first rule of magic? And Steven like recites it, like everything has a cost. He's like, everything has a cost and shit. And he's like, yes, everything has a cost. So you owe.
I know.
You owe. You can't keep doing all this shit. And then you doubled your debt by relearning everything. So now the only collateral you have right now is Earth. So now Earth is up for change. And I tried to stop you. I tried to prevent all this. I warned you and you would not fucking listen. And the accountant is telling him all this shit after Stephen Strange like physically assaults the shit out of him. And he's being held down. So what ends up happening is Wong was captured. His Stephen Strange's protege was captured, and someone else was captured. I can't remember the third person, but everybody's transported back to Earth and everything after Dormammu makes his face or his self known. So he's the one who's going to collect. He's the one who's going to bring devastation and havoc to Earth. He's the one who's going to ultimately be fighting Strange and his his wards, so to speak. And Stephen Strange is like, there's nothing that you can do. I'm more powerful than you. I've leveled up. You and your acolytes will never step foot on Earth. And Dormammu was like, oh, really? Because, and everybody's already there. They're already here. And they're wreaking just havoc on everything. And Stephen Strange's protege is like, what do we do? How do we, you always come up with contingencies. What do we do? He said, what do we do with all this going on right now? We lose. And that's the end of the book. I'm like, whoa, it's all your fault, Steven. It's all your fault.
He always does shit like this. Like he makes like deals with demons. Whoa. He just like had all of his like magic, all like the magic its cost was purged into a creature. And that was like fucking, remember that Steve Bachalo art? Like who wrote that? Jason Aaron. He wrote that Stephen Strange. He had like this creature that was just all the hate and all like the negative like magic that he had, that was like an entity and it hated him and stuff like that. So I mean, this dude's an asshole. This dude always does shit like that. He was in the Illuminati when they like shipped off like the Hulk and stuff like that. He destroyed the whole like universe. Like,
yeah, dude, I fucking loved it because it was like, this guy isn't even a hero. The way they're portraying him and shit, he's just the same, like the same arrogance that you. Like the Stephen Strange from the Marvel like movies and shit, the cinematic universe, the arrogance that he had in the beginning, he still has. He didn't outgrow it. He didn't like wisen up. He didn't get more humble or shit like that. Or no, he's still, if anything, worse. So I like it. I love it.
Because I'm the Sorcerer Supreme.
He said, who dares to say that I owe them anything?
Oh, well, that's your fault. Yeah, whatever. This dude's an asshole. But yeah, he's pretty cool. I like to always like jumping in and out like his stories and stuff like that, because it's always like it's like he does a lot of he protects a lot of stuff, but he does almost as much damage as he like.
Yeah, dude. Like he's akin to the Hulk. Like how much can you really do without destroying everything?
You know, and they used to have it so he could just use to do everything and anything at any time. And then they start putting like dampeners on them. And I think this is a good middle ground. like making like magic cost stuff.
Yeah.
Like he has to eat like magic stuff because his like body can't eat normal food anymore. Like he has to
Mm-hmm.
like fucking
Whoa.
yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I can go on a seem strange tangent, but I will talk about Captain America #7, Captain
Boom.
of Nothing. Yeah,
Wow.
awesome. So, what happened last time in #6? Thunderbolt Ross died. He was assassinated, and they think Captain America did it. Captain America and Sharon Carter are talking to his lawyer. His lawyer is like, she's like, okay, okay, I got a headache. Like, what? You have no alibi. So you're saying your alibi is the woman who is your girlfriend, who you said Thunderbolt Ross betrayed on a mission, but the mission's not on the books. And then he died after you got in an argument with in front of like everybody with him. You got in an argument with him, and then like he died because something crashed through the window and shattered his spine, and it was in the shape of a disc. Like, what do you want me to do with this? You said you were with your girlfriend that night? Like, what the fuck? Like, and so, like, he's like, shit, I gotta turn myself in because he's dumb. And so he goes to, like, turn himself in, and, like everybody's like, yeah, he fucking turned himself in because he's fucking stupid. And, Bucky, he goes to the bar with no name to try to find some leads, and he's like beating people down and stuff like that.
Of course.
And like the Owl's like, dude, what the fuck? You think you're better than us? Like fucking Captain America is basically Victor Von Doom now, and then like they say that he killed somebody, and so he sends you down here, and what, you beat up a couple people, and you think you found some answers? Oh yeah, big tough guy, yeah, big tough guy over there.
You want to fight about it?
Yeah, big tough guy. Want to fight about it? He's like, he's a captain. What the fuck? You guys ain't shit. You guys don't stand for anything. You guys think you're heroes? The heroes are just the villains with the biggest guns. And so like it goes back to Captain America. And
it's true. History's written by the winners.
Yeah, it's basically that. History is written by the winners. So Baron von Strucker's there. He has this like prison that he's in charge of, and he's just kept to himself this whole time. They're like, "How have you kept to yourself the whole time?" And he's like, "Cause I mind my own business. Thanks for asking." And so, like Baron von Strucker's there. You got a whole bunch of pieces going together, and basically what they're doing is they're taking away the power of the shield. It was like, yeah, they try to kill Captain America, they try to kill Bucky, they try to kill Sam, but what they're doing is they're killing the idea of the shield. They're taking away the respect that the shield gives. And like basically Captain America is like, how often, like I was
that's pretty smart.
Yeah, he's like, I may not have been that guy who was Commander Supreme, but he was still Captain America. When I was Nomad, like I still like used a shield and stuff. Like, how often am I going to use like this uniform and the shield that the government gave me and fight the government with it? Like, I can't do that no more. And so it's like, whoa, a lot's happening. And I'm not gonna get. That's like a lot of details, but that's still not even like the main like crux of like the story. It's just a whole bunch of stuff happening right now. I think this is gonna be a whole like spanning like 25, 50 issue run. Because it seems like they're doing the long game. It's like the long game, like the Justice League is doing the long game. Like it's pretty crazy.
Whoa.
Other than that, yeah, I would say get it. The art is crazy. It's Adam Kubert, I think, on the art. So the art's crazy. The story's crazy. Everything's crazy. It's amazing. All right, your turn.
Nice. I have Age of X-Men Alpha #1. So this is a great like jump off book because there's like 6 new like mini-series books coming out. So this is kind of like the main storyline, and then everything else is kind of be a little crossover.
Yeah.
For it. So imagine
like
a world.
Tines.
Yeah, tines. That's the word. Thank you. So imagine a world where everyone is a mutant. No humans, just everybody is a mutant, and also. X-Man's not evil. He's like one of the main people that they go to. It's like him, Magneto, Jean Grey, Storm, this nature girl with cool antler horns. Who else? Bishop, and one other person is in there. But they're like the main team that basically just goes out and helps like people around. They help this one mutant. She's a little girl. Her name's Luna, and she just has this really powerful psychic power, and she made everyone just freeze around her. and like it's so powerful. It's like a huge radius, kind of like in the beginning of like the movie X-Men when they went to go see Jean and she froze everybody, kind of just like that. So they basically save her, bring her back to the Institute, and now in this world, the Institute is like this huge college-like place. It's magnificent. It's got statues, histories, libraries, like all kinds of things. And so they're just kind of giving her a tour, letting her know of everything that's going on. And you see kind of the only important part of this tour is that you see kind of this lab. And she's like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's where you came from." So people are not reproducing in this world. They're like hatching people in this world. Or hatching mutants, my apologies, in this world. So it's like, okay. And then they go outside.
I'm sorry, you're not people.
Sorry, mutants. Let me keep it correct in this world that we are at.
So you know what you are. Mutie.
Muties. So
Well, wouldn't the people be the mutants amongst mutants if the population's all mutants?
Yeah, it's all mutants. So it's just like all.
No, I'm just saying, like, wouldn't the people be mutants then?
All right, go.
So they go outside and there's like this huge vast farm, and they're just saying that all the other sister schools help control the food. So I think that's very important. And then also you see the glob, and then we like zoom in on the glob's like eyes, so it's like I was like,
yikes.
Okay, whatever. So then we go to Bishop, and Bishop and Jean Grey are having this like secret relationship, and so he's like, "I can't do this," and so he leaves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
good for you, Bishop.
He, like, leaves,
good for you.
I can't do this, I gotta go. And so he leaves, and he goes back to his place, and it's basically like everyone's focusing on their futures, but I've been in so many effed up timelines that I can never like settle. And so speaking of settling, he can't. And then people bust into his place. It's Bobby, Psylocke, and this weird finger-linging girl. And they busted in his place, tackle him, tie him down, and then the finger girl like comes in, and they put this collar on him, and he disappears. So it's
Jeez.
like, whoa, what the heck? And then they recondition Jean.
They just made him invisible or transported him to a different area. That's all. Jeez, it's just tech. It's X-Men.
So then the next day, Jean and Storm are going to like an early meeting because, you know, that team that I told you about. Oh, Nightcrawler. That was the other person that's on the team.
Nice.
And so they're going to an early meeting, and Storm tells her, like, "Oh, I was knitting last night because Nature Girl, her clothes stink. So, like, I don't have the heart to tell her that she stinks, so I'm just making her new clothes to give to her."
I thought that was a cloud thing.
No. So, and then she's like, "What did you do last night, Jean?" She's like, "I don't remember." She's like, "That's weird. You always remember what you do." She's like, "I know it's strange, but like, after we left, I just don't remember what happened."
And we're X-Men, so that's not alarming at all.
And so they go, and they
They're like
have
a
this
mega level mutant. That's not at least been like terrifying. Like a blackout memory gap. Okay, whatever.
So they go to this early meeting, and
wow.
she's like, "Hey, aren't we waiting for somebody? Because everybody's there except for one person." And
Jesus.
the one person shows up, and it's Laura, like the female Wolverine. And they're like, "Yeah, now we can start this meeting." And I'm like, wait, hold up. Like, no one's alarmed that Bishop's not there? Okay. And so in the beginning of the issue, you see this picture of the whole team that I told you about. And then at the end of the issue, it's the exact same picture, except there's no Bishop, and it's always been Wolverine. So it's like, whoa. So it wraps up with the team having the meeting, and there's a flyer, and on the flyer, it's Apocalypse, And it on the flyer, it also says it's okay to love. So it's like, what in the world is going on with that? So the last thing that I didn't mention is that everyone loves Nightcrawler. He's an actor in this world, but also everyone strangely loves him. Like, he's got meetings and like photo ops, and he's making a movie like all at the same time. So it's like,
people want to shake his hand, like his 3-fingered hand, like
yeah. So it's like,
it's almost like okay, enough's enough. Like, I thought it was weird when Bishop was gone, but you're telling me they like this freak? No. Okay, what's going on, Nate? What's going on?
So the 6 books that are coming out, if you want to check them out, is The Amazing Nightcrawler, number 1, Next Gen, number 1, Extremis, number 1, Prisoner X. So definitely Bishop just got transported to a prison. And Apocalypse and the X tracks. So it's like
Extra.
yeah, but with an X. X Strax. So yeah, and if you really like the team, Marvelous X-Men. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out at least 2 of those.
All right, cool. Where'd Chris go? All right, well, the next one I had, I think this is actually the last one of the day. We got Justice League Annual number 1. So there's a lot going on in this one. Damn. So the Source Wall is breaking up. So basically what the Source Wall is, there's like the 52 planets, and then on the outside of the 52 planets, there's like the realm where the gods, where like the Apocalypse, Heaven, Hell, the New Gods, New Genesis places. And then outside of that is like the Source Wall, I guess. And so the Source Wall is being broken up, and these Omega level
Oh, we lost Chris.
yeah. Here, let me try to fix this real quick. I'll get rid of that. There we go. All right, so basically, let me wrap it up real quick. So basically, the Source Wall is breaking up. Kendra, Hawkgirl, she's like a real integral part of this. It's the Justice League, it's the Thanagarians, the Hawk people, it's the Green Lantern Corps, it's the New Gods, it's 3 Omega Titans, all trying to like put the Omega Titans back into the Source Wall, and then it's kind of weird what happens. Kendra has to go in there because she has like the 4th Omega Titans power, and
Whoa.
like the Omega Titans are there for the Source Wall to keep something out. Like to protect all the stuff that's in and like to regulate it. But while all this is happening, it looks like it's about to work, but Brainiac attacks with like, with like Lex Luthor and everything like that. And so Brainiac is able to take control of like this person, Starman, who has like the powers of the universe kinda. And he's able to basically mess the whole plan up. Like the Source Wall blows up, all his like Celestials are like dying and everything, like Kendra's like, I can hear them like dying and calling out to me because they can't really think or anything like that. They can't really want. But after this happens, they're like reaching out to Kendra to have her like come back, please help us, stop this. And so like they all die. Source Wall gets blown up, and like this lady comes out. It starts with like a P, and she's like the creator of like the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor, and like shit goes to hell. And like Brainiac and Luthor are able to like capture her essence. And so they have her now, and they can use her power to attack the multiverse. And I guess that's what's gonna happen. And like the Justice League basically lost. A lot happened. Huge war, a lot of pieces, and this is basically setting up like the rest of the year for Justice League. Like they got a lot of stuff, and it's like all these big events that have been happening back to back to back, have all been building off each other. So it's like I can't really go too in detail on one thing, but it's pretty crazy. So. Justice League, I say Scott Snyder, James Tynion, they're doing really good. I say pick it up. It's a must buy, definitely a must buy. But other than that, that is my last book of the day. So
yeah. That is crazy. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, it's definitely like, and it's an annual too, so it's like it kind of wraps it all nice together. So It's like a done in one in a way, but it also progresses the story. So that's really good. Justice League number 14, not number 14, annual number 1. Other than that, that was the last one, like I said. So we're about to upload this one to YouTube tomorrow. So you can always find us on YouTube at Long Story Short Show, or you can catch some of our live streams that we do here on Twitch at Esquadup, ESQUADUP, where we like to record some of our Saga Sunday videos, our discussions, and the Comic World for You live. We also do some editing for our weekly show. So if you guys want to follow us, play some games with us, anything like that, ESQUADUP on Twitch or Long Story Short Show on YouTube. Thanks.
See ya.